Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, you're going to meet Timothy Ballard. He is a rising star in the industrial fuels industry. We're going to explain next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, I love to feature entrepreneurs on this show, and I am so thrilled to invite into my studio today Timothy Ballard. He owns a couple of companies. It's a family-owned business. And Timothy, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me, Jeff. I'm excited to be here. Thanks a lot.
Well, I want you to talk about this because it's the part of every major airport. It's the part of even oil rigs. They don't talk about it, but they all need fuel. So tell us what your company does.
Well, we're a specialty contractor. We work in aviation fuels and the fuel market in general, really. It's a specialty niche a market because not a lot of people think about that. It's a process industry. We were talking beforehand about how folks can see the end result of a commercial project or a residential project, but in industrial, you don't really see that. It's all hidden. Right. It's a giant process that brings that energy to market. In all kinds of various different forms.
All right, we're going to pull up your website, and as we scroll down the website, I want you to talk about the kinds of clients. I mean, picture speaks 1,000 words, but you really serve a lot of different industries, don't you?
Yeah, it started out that way, and it continues to be a force for us to be diversified. You never want to put all your eggs in one basket, right? So
sure.
We do try to focus on industrial and commercial sectors mostly. And when it comes to fuel systems, there's a variation of different services you can provide to be valuable in that space.
Yes.
So excavation and concrete and asphalt and backfill, and mechanical construction, welding and fitting, and putting the pipes and valves and infrastructure together to support the system that brings that fuel to market or to the generators or to the buses or the fleet or the aircraft. There's a whole system that brings that into that system so that you can realize the potential of that energy.
Yeah. All right, you've spent a lifetime in commercial construction. How did you find this niche?
Well, I fell into it really. I did gas and oil for years and years. We built infrastructure systems for natural gas process, compressor stations and cryo plants. I had an opportunity after doing that for 15 years to move over into aviation fuels. And because I had been doing things in pipe valves and fittings and process, it really was, I don't want to say easy, but it was a pretty seamless transition to get into the fuel systems because it's all pipe valves, fittings, tanks, pumps, filters, same thing I had been doing for years.
Yeah.
And so I had an opportunity to jump into it, and then I made some connections. I'll tell you too, the pandemic was really kind of a catalyst to this opportunity. I had to start my business. That's when I built these relationships and forged my reputation and got really involved and heavily into fuel systems. So.
And I have to imagine you started this company some 4 or 5 years ago. When you get a client, you keep them for life, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when you do what you say you're going to do. That's valuable to them.
And we mentioned off the top of the show, it's a family-owned company, so you work with your entire family.
That's right. My dad, my sons, my wife is 51% owner. That was a strategic move for us to do that together, and it really serves to keep us together, to grow together, and to enjoy seeing it sprout and all the great things that have come out of it has been a real blessing.
So rewarding. You have another company, so let's go ahead and put that on the screen. So tell us about this company.
Yeah, this is Ballard Boxworks. We use these shipping containers as field offices. I had bought one for one of our construction projects at BEC, and I thought, man, we could do that. So we started another company and started to procure these shipping containers from the depots and outfitting them into field offices, hunting cabins,
Really?
and mini homes as well. So
Is it
sky's the limit with what you can do with those
all right?
things.
So
It's
when
been pretty fun.
you get it, it's just a box.
Yeah, that's
So,
right.
so, like, what do you to turn a a cargo box into a office in the field? It must require a lot of work.
It is, but if you know what you're doing, you can be pretty efficient at it, and that's the name of the game. Just finding out how you can whittle your costs down to make an approachable price in the market to sell them and move them.
Yeah.
We lease them and sell them, and we've got a yard out in Justin where we outfit those containers, and I've got a crew that knows exactly what they're doing. We've got accounts at different suppliers, so we get the steel for the framing and the windows and the doors and the mini split AC units and the partition walls and the bathroom components. It's really kind of a seamless operation now, and we've only been doing it for a year, and it's really starting to pick up.
Tell us more about that company. The demand is probably great. I mean, especially here in Texas.
Yeah, absolutely. It creates a conditioned environment for crews and site personnel, specifically in the construction industry. So they've got an office where they can, they've got a generator that'll power it. It's very mobile, and it's a place for them to have kind of a safe haven to look at plans or have lunch or cool down in a hot summer day. And so it provides that kind of haven for the crews out in the field. And then also I've had a lot of interest from ranch owners and landowners who like to have it for hunting cabins. It's a great mobile space for them to cool down. We can build showers into it. There's all kinds of things you can do with them. And then the mini homes, I've been having success in the RV industry. They actually
Really?
bringing those out and setting them on their pads because you can hook them right up to the power and the sewer and the water, and you've got a living space ready to go.
Wow. Do you have a lot of competition?
There is a lot of competition, yes.
Yeah.
Everybody has this idea, it turns out.
Well, one of the things you said earlier is it's all about relationships, and kind of a handshake still means something.
1,000%. Relationships and communication are two of my top core values in both companies. And because that's what drives everything. I've never gotten a job or started a company or done anything really in my life without someone that I knew. It's always been about who you know.
And that never goes out of style. I mean, I think about so many companies that come and then they exit the scene because they didn't live up to their word. Hey, that's not what we agreed on. And so I know your faith plays a big role in everything you do. Talk a little bit about your faith.
That's right. I do everything to the glory of God. I think that I am put on this earth for a specific reason, to build the kingdom, and I strive to do that. And so I look to Him in everything that I do and give Him the glory first, and try and really be a good steward of the resources that He's given me and put me in charge of to further that goal, which is to grow the kingdom.
Yeah.
And so, there's a lot of ways for you to sit back and say, oh, no, the sky's falling, or this isn't going to work, or are we going to get that invoice payment, or are we going to be able to survive this? But if you put your trust and faith in Him, then you don't need to worry about those things. And so that really has helped me to develop both of these businesses and to continue to grow in the direction that we need to survive and thrive.
Yeah, and I know you're blessed as I am to have my kids want to work with me. What are some life lessons that you hope your kids are picking up from just watching the way you show up every day?
Well, that's a good question. I have 3 sons. My oldest is a Marine. He's finishing up this year. He'll come back and be working with us soon. My middle son works for me now. He's 21. And then my youngest is an 8th grader. He's going to be going to high school next year, which is crazy to think about. But yeah, I think about Timmy. He's my middle son, and he's had an opportunity really to learn from me how to do estimating and what it looks like to propose jobs and close them and then execute them. And, being an entrepreneur, there's a lot of things that he's able to see behind the curtain at, which, isn't typical, especially for a 20-something.
Right.
And he doesn't, you said that he wants to work here. I don't know that he does. Maybe he wants to go out and do his own thing, but he's really got a good dose of what it takes to to be a successful business person and whatever he chooses to end up doing. But hopefully he sticks with me, and we'll have something to hand down to him as we move into the future. And that's kind of been the idea anyway from the beginning.
Well, you were telling me that your father works with you, and he was a carpenter by trade.
Yeah, that's right. I was building decks with him at 5 years old.
Wow.
And really been doing construction all my life in that respect. Did that for a while, did some manufacturing in gas and oil, found out that wasn't going to be good enough for me. I went back to college, got my degree in construction management. Been in construction management as a professional for 20 plus years. I've taught at Collin College in the construction management program there for several semesters.
Wow.
Materials and methods I taught there. Actually met one of my best employees as a student there.
Okay.
He works for me now and has just been gold. So that was a neat experience. And then, I just started my own business in construction, and we'll keep it going. Hopefully my sons will take some notes and take over and do the same thing later.
What were some life lessons that you learned from your father at an early age?
Just be consistent. Don't quit. Especially when things get tough.
Yeah.
Stick with it. And he's been a real inspiration to me all my life, and my mother was too. She was a real smart lady, and they had started a business in the 90s too in home health care. And so I learned a lot from that on, just taking a risk and being willing to jump out for something you believe in and are intelligent about.
Yeah. All right, in the final 2 minutes, I want you to look into the camera on the left and maybe talk to that young person who's still trying to find their way. What life advice would you give to the young person?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably best to have a plan. That's my biggest piece of advice. You don't want to just jump out there and not have some resources in place. You got to think about the capital you're going to need. You got to have some kind of plan to execute. Before I jumped out, I thought all I need is a business plan and some capital and some people and an opportunity. And those things are true, but you really got to think through how you're going to be able to support what your vision is so that you can make it a success. So really plan. Fail to plan to fail, as they say. And that would be my advice. If you're going to jump out, do it. Don't be scared of it, but have a plan.
So powerful. I read a study that something like 60% of young people graduating college want to become an influencer, but they might want to have a backup plan. Learn a trade.
I need to look to you for that, sir.
I don't know about that. All right, we're going to end with both of his websites. We're going to start with BECservicesgroup.com, and then his other company is BallardBoxWorks with an X.com. The great Timothy Ballard. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you, sir.
You bet. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.